glad you could join us on this Sunday afternoon at the world's fastest speedway, Talladega Superspeedway in Alabama, for the Winston 500. Under our second caution period of the afternoon. The first one was caused by Dale Jarrett, who hit the wall in turn number 4. And this most recent one caused by Dick Trickle, who cut a tire and slid to the grass in turn number 2. Now, Jackaroo, we tried to get him to report on this pit stop, and we can't understand why he was only about a mile away from this car. But anyway, this is what happened during the pit stop by Dick Trickle. They're simply replacing the windshield on the car, and that isn't really much of an effort for these Winston Cup cars. He is now back in as we come back to live action, and they're in the trunk of the car. What might that be all about? Jerry Punch.
Well, they got a lot of sheet metal damage in the rear of the car. When he spun, it just ripped the rear fender of the car open. You know, he blew all 4 tires. You can see the tire. This is the right front tire that he actually cut down when he smacked the wall over there. The tires are very little left of this tire, but they are working on the Dick Trickle car, and they have a lot of damage, sheet metal damage to the trunk. It's basically your flow-through ventilation now in this Buick. They have air coming up through the fenders inside the trunk, trying to pull the trunk lid apart. So Dick Trickle having his trouble after a great run here, a rookie, after 700 short track wins. So we are continuing here at Talladega Superspeedway under caution for the spin by Dick Trickle. Stay tuned. We'll be back for more action.
The Winston 500 in 1988 turned out to be a day that Phil Parsons will remember forever. After qualifying in 3rd position for the race, Phil is able to pull out to an early lead, pursuing closely Ken Schrader and Jeff Bodine. A couple of laps later, Parsons moves high and gets out of the draft. He's passed by Schrader. And then 3 abreast, Bodine and Bobby Allison also get by him. But quickly, he regains the lead. Has yet, however, to make a pit stop. And as a matter of fact, coming out of turn 2, he runs out of fuel, with the rest of the field going by. Phil, however, is able to make it into the pit area and barely returns to the racetrack on the lead lap. Ken Schrader is about to put a lap on him, but Kenny spins out, and Phil escapes the close call. Don't count Phil out, though. He catches the leader, Jeff Bodine, and he holds on to get the checkered flag and win the 1988 Winston 500, his first ever Winston Cup victory. And as you rejoin us, the cars cross the line and take the green flag, and we are back to racing on lap number 104. And Benny, if you can't win yourself, I'm sure it's always nice to see a family member win like Phil did last year.
You know, your first Winston Cup victory is unbelievable, but to do it in a race as big as the Winston 500, it had to be incredible. I know he was just, well, I know I've talked to him several times, thrilled to death.
And by the way, this is the first time that Benny has missed a Winston 500 after 19 in a row. Wish you were out there?
No. Looks like hard work to me.
Schrader, Mark Martin, 1st and 2nd. Davey Allison, 3rd. Then comes Bill Elliott. Terry Labonte running in 5th position.
We might add that caution flag just a moment ago was a tremendous break for Harry Gant and Morgan Shepherd because of their unscheduled pit stops. They did not have to stop under the green flag conditions. The other cars did, so therefore they're back in the lead lap right now, both Morgan Shepherd and Harry Gant. And we see Morgan Shepherd right now running in 6th spot.
That 2nd place car there in line, though, 2nd place in the race, is driven by Mark Martin, as there is Morgan Shepherd, who is still on the lead lap. Now, there is Mark Martin in car number 6. Not only does he win the Unical money and win $53,000 if he wins this race, but he would also qualify for the Winston. Now, if he would qualify for the Winston, it would knock Richard Petty out of that race, just like Phil Parsons did last year. And Richard is back in the Winston because of the retirements that we've had in Winston Cup competition. But right now, Mark Martin seems to be headed backwards instead of forwards.
He's got his problems. When 25 came off the tri-oval and went to the bottom of the racetrack, Davey Allison dove under Martin and got some air off Kenny Schrader's car, and everyone else followed the 28 car of Davey Allison, and all those cars, all 4 of them, passed Mark Martin. Has to be frustrating, Ed, don't you think?
Oh, it is frustrating, no question about it, but there wasn't anything you could do about it once he got in that position. So he's back there at the tail end of that 6-car draft, and just have to try to find him a spot to get back up there. There's Dick Trickle right in front of him. He just came out of the pins a moment ago. So
here's Davey Allison making a bid for the lead. he has the lead, I believe. Nope, Davey Allison is going to have it. But Allison is going to have to do something here as they go into the turn. And Dick Trickle on the bottom side. Schrader and Allison running wheel to wheel. And here is Bill Elliott right there also. He's hooked up with Schrader in the outside draft.
Here's Davey Allison trying to draft home Dick Trickle. He knows Trickle's been fast today, but he realizes he's got some problems, so he decides to pull on the outside of him, making 3 abreast going into the turn.
Great job by Ken Schrader. Started 21st. He was the fastest second-day qualifier. Kenny got his first Winston Cup victory last year. So we ask him, what's your goal for 1989?
We feel that as bad as we ran last year and wind up 5th, that if we can keep our consistency, improve on our on-track performance, or actually how fast we actually run, that we can win that championship. And that's number one. We'd like to win all the races, but we'll take 1 race, 2 races, no races in lieu of that championship.
And right now, Ken Schrader is 14th in Winston Cup points, 308 behind the leader, Dale, just a year ago, as Schrader spun down the backstretch. And we all held our breath because we saw the air get under that car just slightly, but it held to the racetrack.
You know, he spun and didn't hit anything. He finished 5th. You know, unbelievable. That was probably one of the greatest driving jobs I've ever seen in my life. Most of the time I say, and it's the truth, the drivers close their eyes. But in that situation, I think Schrader was driving the car.
Now, as we watch these guys draft each other here, there are 6 cars in the lead draft. Let's follow up on sort of a joking question I asked you a few minutes ago, but regarding whether you would rather be out there. What do you think, sitting up here watching the race and watching these guys dice for position and going 190 miles an hour? It's a lot different up here. It's probably more exciting for you than it actually is in the race car.
Well, it is more exciting. This is absolutely the greatest fun in the world up here, watching these guys and getting excited at the job that they do. But right now, the mental aspect is what's the killer right now, because these fellas having to try to figure out what to do, how to stay in that lead draft. Look at Davey. Look at Davey wave to Mark. Said, man, let me in. Get behind me. We'll go to the front.
Yeah, Davey got in the same position a moment ago and went all the way to the back. And Mark Martin had gotten in, and Mark's not going to let him get back up there.
No way.
But you see, mentally, now, how exasperating that is for Davey Allison to have a car as fast as his is and not be able to lead the race or just pass at will. It's so hard mentally to be able to accept these things. But it's fun up here.
Here's to Mark Martin looking to the inside of Morgan Shepherd, but pulls back into line. Davey Allison has dropped all the way back to 6th position.
That looked like that was one of those old hand signals from Morgan Shepherd to tell Mark Martin, let's go. And Mark pulled down to go with him, but Morgan said he didn't have enough momentum going, so he backed up behind Terry Labonte.
Bill Elliott runs 2nd. Trying to pass Ken Schrader for the lead. There were many questions going into this race because of the restrictor plate. How difficult will it be for you to pass in this event?
Shoot, it's going to be virtually impossible. You know, the deal is there's a lot of drastic difference in speeds. You know, and if you get somebody, either a guy can help you or hurt you. You get hooked up with the wrong guy, he's going to hurt you. You get hooked up with the right guy, he's going to help you. You know, and if he can work with you the whole race, then you might be a pretty good team, and that's all it's going to take.
Well, perhaps we recall more than any other time when 2 cars worked together in a draft was during last year's Firecracker 400 at Daytona, when he and Rick Wilson got hooked up together, and they just were excellent together.
Well, Rick Wilson was leading the race, caught Bill Elliott, and put him a lap down. And when he ran up behind that Ford Thunderbird, he found how fast he could run. He ran away from the 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th place cars and let Bill Elliott stay in front of him. Now we see some passing going on. Here's Morgan Shepherd trying to pass Bill Elliott to take over 2nd place. Let's see if he can make it stick. He's got to have somebody to come with him. Here comes Terry Labonte. He's coming with him in the Budweiser Ford, so they're going to shift the car number 9 right on back. And just like Bill Elliott said there a moment ago, you've got to have somebody to work with you. Well, Morgan Shepherd had somebody working with him, and look at him.
Now
going
Morgan,
right up on the outside.
Yep.
Ken Schrader.
Morgan is looking